Welcome to UEL Creative Life, the show that brings you an insight into the creative elements of your local university. I am your host, Maica, and today we are talking about the film course with our guest, Nicholas.
Oh, I'm Nicholas Pimienta. I study film at University of East London, and I'm in my third year, literally a couple of weeks out from the final screening of our final film. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So how did you know you wanted to do film?
I definitely knew from a while back. I was always obsessed with films. I have like a lot of DVDs at home. It's not even just film as well. It's like the storytelling behind music videos and even television. Like it's all fascinating for me from a very young age. Yeah, I remember.
What would you say is your favorite film from your childhood?
Childhood film would probably be the Pirates of the Caribbean films as a kid.
That was good.
They were good?
No, they were good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The first three films, yeah, they were the best as a kid. Yeah, and even like the Pixar films, obviously, Cars, Toy Story, they were just you just get lost in that fantasy of films and.
Okay, so what is one thing you wish you had known before starting your film course?
Definitely a bit more insight on the courses itself, in the what was in it. So obviously there's the film aspect, and then there's the coursework aspect. I knew that about that stuff, and then I think there was just lack of information on the other stuff, like creating a film festival and having to apply. Well, I expected that bit, having to apply for like different jobs and stuff.
Right.
But just a little bit more information on that part, it would have been nice, but you know. So
do you feel like there were crucial information that wasn't shared enough with you that you feel like should have been shared?
Yes, I definitely feel like some information should have been shared more. Like, obviously, because it's a film course, there's going to be different aspects. I think in that specific area that I'm talking about, there was film festival, there was creating film website, a lot of different things that wasn't that mentioned, but you know, made it past it, and in the end,
did you feel like that caught you off guard?
A little bit, definitely a little bit.
But you managed to.
Oh yeah. There was a little bit of struggle because for some reason I wasn't getting any emails, but fixed that out and then joined the film festival. It was a success, and despite it being during the pandemic, so it was an online film festival.
Yeah.
But despite that, it was fine. It was all good.
Okay. So what was your first impression of your film course and its lecturers and teachers?
The course, we started off with like a 48-hour challenge, if I remember correctly, and that was a fun outing, and it was a good chance to meet the new people.
So it was an icebreaker.
Yes, definitely was. And at that point in my life, I was definitely becoming I was leaving the introverted side of my life behind. I was just forcing myself to talk to people. And luckily, from my actual school, I know one person, because he joined the course as well.
Oh, okay.
But it was, I think, in that first project, because the lecturers selected the groups, we were like all forced to like meet new people, but it was a really cool experience, and then knowing other people's creativity, and yeah, definitely that first few months was an icebreaker, but it was all smooth sailing. The lecturers, all fantastic, I have to say. It's because I know them now in the end, so it's like,
oh yeah. When you first meet people,
you're like,
your guard is a bit up.
Yes, definitely. A few of them aren't around anymore.
Oh, okay.
The pandemic kind of, they were made redundant. But the ones that are still here, and even the ones who have joined, have always believed in us, believed in our creativity as filmmakers. And yeah, lecturers on top 100%, making sure that we don't get overwhelmed by certain amounts of work. We could always email them for something, and they would at least try and sort it out or extend like a gap to make sure that we weren't overwhelmed and stressed. And so
so your mental stability was always high priority then.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, definitely. and just the way the projects that they put out. Some of the projects were kind of like made last minute and stuff, and in the end we were able to like be so creative. Like I remember during pandemic we did film one thing, and it was like an experimental documentary, and it was about our friend in our class, because it was an untold story. So she kind of like told a story that she never told anyone, and about her life. And so it was a chance, especially in the editing, because when you're editing a piece, I think most editors out there can agree that when you're creating a story, that's the main part. And yeah,
okay,
it was a great chance.
So following on from that, do you prefer editing or filming?
I'm actually both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, cinematographer and editor. Yeah, I love both. I remember there was this one film that I'll say his name, Julian, our lecturer, put out, and we got surrealism, and we were just going out. I think we went to like Beckton Park and used the kind of like the trees area and just filmed like this weird.
Try to make something a bit mundane.
Yes, like we just put like branches on top of my friend and then had him like face each other with like, it was just this weird. But yeah, and that's the fun part of editing as well. That's why I love it, because I remember watching my favorite content creators when I was like 12, 13, when you're watching, and I just remember watching their edits and I was like, wow, I want to do that. And yeah, with limited resources, I started early, like around 14, but yeah, I enjoy it so much. It's long, but it's enjoyable.
You also mentioned that one of your peers in class did, what was it, a documentary about her experience or something?
Yes.
So documentary is obviously a genre of film. So is that one of your favorite genres, or do you have one?
Do you know what? I think one that I did enjoy was surrealism.
Right.
Yeah, that one was fun because you just get to go out and film a particular scene and then move to another location and kind of like say the same thing, and it's just, you can make it like creepy or happy, but like in a weird way.
Right, you put your creativity
Yes,
into it.
definitely. Documentaries are good as well, especially when you got the right people for it. So for that particular story, it was emotional behind the camera as well, because it was a pretty deep story as well. So, but it was a good experience, because if you get into making a documentary, and you know how to like compose yourself and then like ask the right questions and that, and in those types of stories, definitely.
Okay, so what have you learned on your film course?
In the editing aspect, I've definitely learned to use other multiple different editing softwares. I was only ever used to one really, but you know, with workshops and that our lecturers gave out, everything was a learning experience, to be honest. Like the different cameras, the C100, the Blackmagic, to the sound equipment. I think everyone had to do. I think everyone in our film course did something different. So from producer to director to cinematographer to sound guy to editing. So it wasn't like you were limited to one thing. But yeah, I think by the end, everyone had found what they were used to, and then stuck to it. But then that made the groups. It's like, okay, we need a sound guy. Okay, there was only ever one, and she was really good at it though. So there was two. And then, some were very limited. Some there was more than others. Yeah.
Right.
Definitely.
You guys knew where your strengths were, so you just stuck with that. Okay. So what makes the film course fun or engaging?
The chance to be creative, I think, and then especially from a screenwriter's perspective, definitely writing down a script, enjoy having some fun with writing something, creating a story, and then seeing that story getting filmed, and then seeing that story getting screened on the big lecture hall in the library.
Right.
Yes, there was one a couple of weeks ago. So it's always fun. That's definitely the engaging part. Definitely, just creating a story, telling something, and telling something that the audience will engage to, and then having that audience react well to it. Yeah.
Right.
Definitely.
It's like, It's like people are getting an insight into your mental space, like
Yeah,
what your
yeah,
thoughts
yeah.
are and stuff.
Definitely, definitely.
You know? Yeah. Okay. So what element of filming best represented your strengths?
What element?
Yeah, of the film course.
The the editing side of it, the editing and cinematography. I've tried like the others and
which ones were those?
oh, sound. I tried sound.
Yeah.
I tried being director. Director's not bad, but
Too much pressure?
definitely. And even though you do get to tell your vision of the story, because you're telling your cinematographer, can you get it from this angle, this shot, and then like making sure that sound is working, definitely. But there is a lot of pressure. There was one thing I didn't try, that was producer. But from what I saw, a lot of work, from getting location agreements to risk assessments to actors agreement to looking for the actors to agreeing location, and then like being having all the attention on the actors, making sure where were they, are they arriving on set, did they have COVID, because obviously COVID regulations and all that.
Yeah.
I saw that and I was like, I think that's definitely not for me.
Yeah,
that's a lot more paperwork for people who like paperwork. Yeah.
Okay. So what was the most challenging part of the film course that you overcame?
Definitely the online period of the course. It wasn't foreseen, obviously, because no one expected it, but
Right.
It was very difficult as a film student, because all these new rules, like I think what was it, like 6 people per like in a group, something like that, and then spread out, and then getting a COVID certificate. There was these different stuff, and then even just like waking up in the morning for a lecture just on the computer, it was just, that was very difficult.
Yeah.
It was definitely very difficult.
So adapting to like the changes in environment.
Yes.
And stuff.
Yeah, definitely. From that to like, I don't know, there wasn't that big of a difficulty. I mean, there was one. There was a bit where we filmed we filmed a short film with some actors, and then in editing, I found out that the camera sound wasn't working. So it was I had to like lip read the video and then place the sound on it. It didn't work that well, unfortunately. The film was good. The actors were amazing. But it was the story of it. The film wasn't as good because it was all like not the best of my ability.
No, executed well.
Yeah, no. Below average for me, from my view, in terms of my editing. It was definitely probably my worst.
Yeah.
But
you know, it's quite interesting that you mentioned how you didn't really enjoy too well, like the changes in scenery and stuff, and having to not come into uni anymore because of the COVID restrictions, and then having to stay at home. And that's coming from a technological guy, because you're obviously around technology so much.
Yes.
So for you to say that you didn't really enjoy that is quite interesting, don't you think?
I mean, because, you know, there was no engagement. It was just me in my room with the computer, listening to the lecture for like 4 hours. And then to have that like every week when you couldn't really go out as well because there was nothing open.
Oh, yeah.
So I think it was just draining. And it got way too much. Like when you go from one project to another, there is a gap in the middle. There is some space, there's some time to relax and stuff. There just wasn't that in this course during that period.
And was that for the whole term, or was it just for the whole year?
That was for the whole year, the whole second year, yeah. I think there was one period, I think in December they opened, I think it was like October, November, they opened up restrictions again. There was like a period where they opened up.
Oh yeah, and then they closed it back,
yes,
didn't they?
that, and then we went in, everyone mask on. It was nice. It was lovely. It was lovely seeing everyone again. Some people obviously were in their countries and stuff, but that was nice. And then they closed it again, and then that's how it stayed.
Oh.
It was, yeah. The lecturers decided to finish off the year online, And I remember it was March, and I was like,
Oh yeah.
it's like there's still 2 months left, and I'm like, and at that point they're like, no,
Yeah.
I can't have this.
Yeah, you don't want to go on anymore.
No, yeah, sometimes you just,
But luckily you did, so.
yeah, you know what, yeah, because this third year has been the best out of all three, definitely. In terms of our projects, because of our final film, obviously, and definitely the bonding with everyone. I think we really came together as a class this time because it was like, oh my God, we're back. And then everyone was back.
You guys missed each other.
Yeah, definitely. We've been going out recently, like for last couple months, and it's like we just say like COVID took a year from us. We could have bonded a lot earlier and then have another year of memories.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's how it works. That's how it is.
Okay. So what are some great resources that have helped you along the way on the course?
I won't lie, YouTube videos.
I like YouTube videos
yes,
too.
the tutorials, especially when you don't know something and you just look for especially in editing. There's certain, because obviously I said in the beginning, I wasn't used to Premiere as much, Premiere Pro, and I was used to more Sony Vegas, and definitely YouTube videos were a big help. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Have you ever tried After Effects?
Yes.
That one's difficult, isn't
That
it?
one's very difficult.
Yeah.
Yes. There was a workshop on that, and even if there is a workshop, there's certain things that you just need to look up yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not fun.
So
I think we used that for a green screen for one film. We did it with a green screen.
Yeah.
But I wasn't editor on that.
Oh.
Thankfully. But from what they told me,
It was just too
layers
difficult.
on layers to make, because we had a person rising, because it was like a cult thing. We had a person rising, and they just said, oh, it's layers on layers and hours, and
Yeah.
I would have loved to have been on that actually, because it would have been nice to learn that, but I was on a different role for that project.
Oh, okay. Okay. So name 3 people that have been the most influential to you on the course. So has there been any mention of like filmmakers or directors that you've looked into, or even your lecturers being your influence or anything?
Definitely the lecturers, definitely them. They're very helpful. They're there when you need them. In the film world, screenwriter Christina Hudson. She wrote Bumblebee. She's written Birds of Prey. I think she's writing like a couple more DC films coming up. She's actually an inspiration because I knew her once.
You did?
Yes. My mum, where she works, that her boss is the mother of her, Christina Hudson.
Oh, so your mum knows her mum?
Yes.
Basically.
And because I used to work, and when I was like, God, I must have been like 6 or 7 or 8, around that age, my mum, because it was like on the holiday periods from school, because my mum was a single mother, so she'd take me to work because couldn't afford to hire anyone to take care of me, so she just took me to work, and Christina would be there, and yeah. Well, my mum was working, like Christina would play it around, because she was like a teenager around that time as well. So when I heard that she was a screenwriter, and I heard that she was like writing Bumblebee, because that was like her first big film, easily an inspiration, definitely, because I haven't seen her for a while, but yeah.
Oh, that's great. Okay, so what advice would you give someone thinking of starting like their first year on the film course?
Quite different aspects. There's the aspect of is it going to be intimidating? Okay, so I think like the word university can be intimidating to someone. It isn't, depending on the people, but the people side of it, that everyone is supportive of each other. Not that many, so you're going to find some people that just are like a bit hard to work with. The course itself, you know, if you just find a passion for films, you're going to do well, honestly. Right,
because if you don't like what you're learning, I mean...
Yeah, why are you there?
Yes, if you see your time.
Like, obviously, you're going to have you get the essay point of it. But, you know, if I did the essays, anyone can do the essays. Like, I hate essays and stuff, but I got through them, and so that's what I'll say. If you're here because you enjoy film, you'll enjoy your time, especially when you can work with other people, because that's important. Because I think some people come in with the mentality, it's going to be my film or no one else's. But you can't come in with that. You have to know that you're a team. It's about teamwork, because everyone's doing a job, and it all has to rotate, or it has to work perfectly, like a clock, like a watch. Yeah. So
you definitely agreed that they need to possess some sort of collaborative skill.
Yes, definitely. Okay. Teamwork, social, yeah, all of it.
Okay, so what are the top 3 things our listeners can learn from you?
Definitely, I'm someone who doesn't quit. Don't let obstacles block my path. Definitely. 2 more. I think if I was from an outside perspective, I think I'm definitely very sociable nowadays. Definitely very more open. And I'm honest. I'm honest. Yeah, I'm honest. If something's wrong, I'm saying it straight up. If it doesn't work, you have to keep it real. You have to keep it real. Yeah, you have to keep it. You can't be. I found myself, if you dig a hole and it's something you don't want to do, you won't find yourself enjoyable.
Yeah.
So if you want to enjoy it, I have to speak up, because otherwise.
And also, because obviously you guys work more in like teams.
Yes.
It's kind of like almost like mandatory to speak.
Yes.
To be honest, or else something could go wrong.
Something could go wrong, or you're just not going to enjoy. You're not going to have a good time, and we're all there to have a good time. We're making a film. It's what we're there for. It's what we want to do in like 10 years, for the rest of our lives, to be honest.
True. Yeah, you could be like the next biggest director or something.
Yeah, that's the dream. That's the dream. Yeah.
Okay, so what do you feel has been the most pivotal point in your course, and why?
I would say pivotal was definitely the shooting of our final film, because a lot went into it, a lot of time has gone into it, a lot of time has passed as well. I think we had a previs, so we did like a first shoot with some actors that not all of them were good, not all of them were bad. But the actual final shooting day was the moment where, okay, this is a reality, because collecting equipment, going to location, it was like somewhere up in Enfield, so it was, and having almost semi-professional actors, and watching the director of it, like, because he's like, they're with us, we're all here, we're all here for the same reason. It's like, it was real. From that moment, it was real. And it's something that, it's going to be a career, and it's going to be fun, because those shooting days, and we have a reshoot as well, because we need to do some scenes again. We were looking forward to it, definitely. And the time has almost come to screen it. It's going to be on June 1st at the Stratford campus.
Really?
And yes, everyone's gonna screen their final films. Yeah, so ours is like a comedy. Ours is a dark comedy type thing where it's one of those films where something happens and then someone arrives and then you have to like hide and then run around the house from whoever's arrived. It's one of those.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know what that reminds me of? I don't know if you've watched this film. It's got like a clown in it. And it's very like dark, but it's comedic as well at the same time.
Yeah.
And he's on like this like spree where he's going like to this frat party, this house party, and it just goes downhill because obviously he he basically had an untimely death.
Oh, I think.
Do you know which one I'm on about?
Yes.
And he almost gets like reborn, but he's come back for revenge.
I think I remember that film.
Yeah?
It's been a while since I've watched it, but yeah.
I forgot the name of it, but it's got
I
a
vaguely
clown.
remember. I think if I can find it, I need to watch it again.
Yeah, it was so funny, but it was also dark as well. I really liked that one.
It's one of those films, and then other people documentaries, and yeah, there's a few documentaries I'm looking forward to that other groups have made or making. Yeah.
Do you know these other students?
Yeah, they're on my course.
Oh, okay.
They're on my course. Yeah.
And then are these students showcasing like work that you guys have done together, or is it like?
It's just those final films. This dissertation.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it's just those ones.
Okay, so what does success at the end of the year look like for you after taking film?
Getting that piece of paper in June and then graduation. That's success.
Yeah.
At the end of this year. Yeah, for me. And even the screening, because the screening will be not first, but it's going to be like more kind of red carpet vibes. our end of year type thing. Yeah, so that's success. Having our film up there on the screen would be success, and then after the graduation, and then yeah, that'll be it.
Is there like any tickets for this screening, or
I think you just show up.
Go? Oh, okay, great.
Yes, June 1st. I think it starts at like 6:30, something like that. I'll confirm the time for you.
Yes.
And yeah,
I want to see that film. Okay, so the last question: how has the film course helped you in other areas of your life?
I'm an extrovert now, so yes, the social part now. Yeah, I remember being so. I just remember just having a door closed on me, just like no, just I. That's the way. I just didn't want to speak to anyone.
Oh,
that was just me. No. Everyone's had that, but no. In that way, just way more social. Yeah, and be more organized. Yeah,
you're more organized.
Yeah, I have to definitely be more organized and attempting to be on time. Yeah, unless there's like I have to wait for a train.
Oh yeah.
Depending, yeah. So definitely timekeeping and all that. Yeah, definitely.
Well, it's so great to have you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, cut it off.